So in our last class, we were discussing the very first verse from Sri Guru Ashtakam. Moving ahead, this material world is often compared to a forest fire which takes place automatically. No one wants a forest fire, but there is often lightning or carelessness or friction or whatever, and the fire immediately takes place. Similarly, this material world is beset with a blazing fire of problems. So I was hearing lecture of His Grace Gaurang Prabhu, Gaurang Prabhuji. I was hearing his lecture. So he was telling that you will see the person who has designed this world, this material world, he himself has announced this. He himself has told this thing. He's telling this thing in Bhagavad Gita that this world is full of sufferings. Dukhalyam ashashvatam. So you will see alya means you might have heard part what chikitsalya or there are many alya. Alya means the place. And Dukhali means that place which is full of misery. So this material world is full of miseries. Dukhalyam. And you will see in this material world, there are basically two kind of people. One who is suffering misery, but he's not aware about that. He is suffering misery, but he's not aware that I'm suffering misery. And second, those people are another people falls in that category which are suffering misery, but they are very much aware of this thing that why are they suffering. So the people who falls in second category are those who get this knowledge from scriptures. Otherwise, you yourself will find this that it's not like when you were not in Krishna consciousness, then you were not suffering miseries. It's not like that. But now, when we are gaining knowledge from scriptures, we became conscious about this thing that yes, really, this world is full of miseries. And we are actually working to get out of these miseries. Definitely, devotees of Lord do not serve Lord to get out of these miseries. But yeah, this is also one point, one benefit which devotees get when they go back to Godhead. So you will see this material world is full of blazing fire of problems, of miseries. Everyone wants to live here peacefully, but situations develop in such a way that this is not possible for anyone. You will see if we will plan to live peacefully here, I mean, whatever we are doing, despite of then the external energy of Krishna, Maya Devi, will not make it happen. She will immediately destroy our all the plans, all the plannings. You want to live peacefully by not serving Krishna? Okay, you will have to suffer. Your planning, let me destroy your planning. You will not be successful in that. So this is true. This is not possible. One more amazing thing Prabhuji was telling this in Gita class that you will see external energy of Krishna which we read in this chapter also at the very beginning, that it's not like that the external energy of Krishna is inferior. But you only think about this thing, that if you are putting your finger in fire, then you will suffer some misery, some pain, if you will put your finger in fire. But was that pain good? I mean, that feeling, that suffering is definitely not good, but as a lesson, that pain is good. Because until you will not put your finger in fire, you will not come to know this thing, that it will give you misery, it will give you pain. So, same way, whatever you are doing, if Maya Devi will not disturb us, whatever plannings we are making to live here peacefully or comfortable, like amazing life, if Maya Devi will not destroy our plannings, then we will not be able to learn this thing, that this place is actually not where we should really live. This is really not our place where we should really reside. This is really not our home. So, Maya Devi is really a great teacher. She's teaching us, you will never get satisfied, you'll never be peaceful if you are not serving Krishna. We struggle very hard to adjust things in so many ways. But nature's laws are so cruel and dangerous that, in spite of our hopes and plans, the blazing fire of the problems of material existence continues. So, this is to give us lesson that we can't be peaceful in this material world if we are not serving Krishna. But you will see, the moment you are serving Krishna, you automatically experience calmness, a kind of bliss. That can be drops of bliss, but still you can't compare that feeling with all those rubbish sense gratification. You can't compare. So yes, one should understand that here nature's laws are so cruel and dangerous that, in spite of our hopes, our so-called plannings, and whatever plans we make, it end up being a struggle. In spite of our hopes and plans, the blazing fire of the problems of material existence continues. Hmm. In this century, for instance, we have attempted to put out the fire of war, but it has not been possible. There was a First World War. A League of Nations was formed to try to prevent a second, but despite their attempts, a second took place. So they were avoiding second war, but despite their attempts, second war also took place. Now a United Nations has been constructed to help end war, but war is going on it, Vietnam, in Egypt, in Pakistan, and other places. No one wants a third world war, but it seems imminent. It is not possible to send a fire brigade, a few men with buckets of water, to extinguish a fire, a great fire in the forest. To extinguish the roaring forest fire, there must be volumes of water. In other words, there must be an arrangement that is beyond human endeavor. When there is a merciful cloud over the forest fire, the cloud burst, rain pours down in torrents, and the blazing fire is immediately extinguished. So, see, one should understand this thing, that why these wars are happening. People are trying to kill other, like the whole country is assuming whole country, they are enemies. Why? Because they are identifying themselves with these bodies. But if they will understand that we are not this body, we are souls, then they will understand this thing, that we are not whatever. We don't belong to any particular country or particular caste or religion. Our only purpose is to serve Lord. So because of this knowledge, lack of this knowledge, people are just wasting this human form of life. You see now people who are killing other people like this in these wars. So they are actually not valuing this human form of life. They're just killing people like mosquitoes. One kills mosquitoes. We have been got this human form of life after so many births. Can you see the mercy of Krishna? How fortunate we are that we are discussing about him here right now. And like possibility was there, with all due respect, possibility was there that we would also be there in those wars. We would also be the part of those wars, isn't it? If we were in Egypt or Pakistan or whatever other places. So we have got this human form of life, plus we got the association of devotees. Very amazing thing, Prabhuji was telling this, that it is not easy to digest, not that easy to digest this thing, that the only purpose of this human form of life is to get the love of Krishna. But anyone who is convinced, he is very much convinced that, yeah, my purpose of life is to serve Krishna. I will do whatever it takes to please Krishna. So we should understand this thing, that this is because of the piety of billions and billions of births. We have already paid so much in our past births. That's why now this convincing power has been awake, that our purpose is to serve Krishna and to get his love. Otherwise, you see that like human beings, like there are many human beings, but people are not even inclined towards spirituality. What to say of what to say of Krishna consciousness? They are not even inclined towards spirituality. So it's really. So here, Prabhupada ji is telling this example of cloud, that when there is a merciful cloud over the forest fire, the cloud bursts, rain pours down in the torrents, and the blazing fire is immediately extinguished. As a cloud collects water from the ocean, similarly, the spiritual master collects water from Krishna's ocean of mercy and pours it over the blazing fire of material existence. Thus, one who bestows or distributes the merciful rain of Krishna is called a spiritual master or guru. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Very amazing thing Prabhuji was telling this, that you will see, like, there are many good people, like great devotees, not people, great devotees of Krishna, but the mood of Srila Prabhupada is something different. You will not find any other person's mood that of the mood of Srila Prabhupada, who walk on this mission to spread this knowledge of Krishna consciousness all over the world. Yesterday, Prabhuji shared one incident, like when Prabhupada was there. So Prabhupada used to get emotional when any disciple of him was dropping from bhakti. When people just dropping from bhakti, they were just going, they were just neglecting bhakti. So Prabhupada was getting emotional that, oh, why he has gone? Why is he not understanding that the purpose of this human life is to serve Krishna, to go back to him? But later they used to come, the disciples, they used to come again. But there was one disciple who came and he said that Prabhupada, there were two disciples actually. One was both dropped earlier, but they came back to Prabhupada. One said that, oh Prabhupada, please bless me. He paid his obeisances to Prabhupada and he said, please bless me that I may be able to do my devotional services very nicely, and may I not, like, I won't give up. Because that time it was very difficult for them to control their senses. So that's why they were dropping. So, okay, Prabhupada was happy that he came back. Now, there was another disciple who said that, oh, Prabhupada, I got another master, another spiritual master who is more advanced than you. So please bless me that I may be able to acquire knowledge from him nicely. Prabhupada said that, okay, go, my blessings are with you, that you will fall in hell. And I was kind of emotional yesterday when I heard this, that people are not valuing what they are getting. This knowledge of Krishna consciousness is very profound. It's not frivolous. It's not frivolous at all. But because people don't understand, so they are just neglecting. This is very powerful knowledge of purification, deep spiritual knowledge and practice. And if it is coming to you, then you are very fortunate that this knowledge is coming to you. Out of millions of people, it is coming to you. So we should value this knowledge and this practice, because it is not frivolous, it is profound, very profound. So even if you fall down, then that's absolutely nothing to worry or feel bad about. This makes us more humble actually, that we will not be able to do it by ourselves. We will not be able to control our senses by ourselves. This is what Prabhuji is discussing in Bhagavad Gita class. Uh, in 12th chapter, Prabhuji is discussing shlokas in which Krishna is telling about impersonalists. That these impersonalists, the Nirankarvadis, they meditate on the light or stuff like that. Basically, they are trying to control their senses or whatever things by their own selves. Because if they are saying God is Nirakar, there is no form of God, God is formless. So they are actually saying that existence of God, there is nothing, existence of God doesn't exist. They are saying like this only. This is so true because there was one Mataji who was earlier she was practicing Krishna consciousness, but later she joined these impersonalists and she herself told this thing that now I'm chill because I don't have to fast on these Ekadashis, I don't have to observe these fasts or whatever other things, I don't have to follow any rules or regulations. Why? Because if God is formless means God is not there. So there will be no one to uh, punish you. Let's say like this. There will be no one to take care of what things you are doing or not, whatever rules or regulations you are following or not. So she was saying like this. My life is chill. I don't have to follow any rules and regulations. No chanting, no Hare Krishna, no Hare Rama, no prasadam, nothing. So people, because they are, what to say, they are kamchor number one. They don't want to serve God. That's why they say like this that God is impersonalist. So yes, when even if you fall down, that's absolutely nothing to worry or feel about. This should make us more humble that we will not be able to control things by ourselves. Only Krishna is the ultimate controller. Krishna can only do everything. You just try this. Whatever you are doing, you just say Krishna, please help. I'll not be able to do it by myself. If you will not help me, if you will not bless me with the strength and all the intelligence to do this, I'll not be able to do this. You just try this and then you'll see the result. I was again observing this thing. I was hearing lecture of um, one devotee. So he was telling this thing that real service is whatever service you are doing, you're doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. Even if you're serving Krishna and if you're putting yourself in center, like, oh, I will hear Hare Krishna Kirtan very beautifully so that audience may attract from my voice, then it is not pleasing to Krishna. Krishna will not even hear your whatever Kirtan you are singing. I'm repeating the exact word of that devotee. Or I will make a very beautiful garland for Krishna so that other people, when they will see at that garland, so they will be just amazed. Wow, very beautiful garland. Who has made this? So if we are keeping ourselves in center, that means we are assuming ourselves as the doer. This is what we have been doing from eternal time, keeping ourselves in center. So even if we are performing spiritual activities, but then also if we are doing it for the sake of attracting audience or for the sake of whatever appreciation, then that is something which will not please Krishna. This is very striking. So yes, even if you fall down, just come back to your practice. Prabhuji was explaining this thing very amazingly, that even if you fall down, immediately next day you practice your devotional services so nicely, then one may assume, oh, he might be a very great devotee. Practicing his devotional services very, very nicely. Always remember that this is a journey and you are getting benefit at every step. Whatever devotional, even a little devotional services you're offering to Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. Benefit means purification is happening. That's what I meant here. So, one more point I wanted to say here. Yes, this is a journey and one should always have patience. Yesterday, only one devotee asked that we are chanting Hare Krishna, but people often say that what if we chant Radhe Radhe or other names of Krishna? So, see, whatever mantra you are chanting, if it is giving you some benefit, any benefit, means transformations, if transformations happening in your life, then okay, we are not here, uh, we are not, what to say, we are not blaspheming that you should not chant this, you should not chant this. But one should understand this thing, that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Lord Krishna himself, has given this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And if anything which Lord himself is telling, then that is most potent. So, despite of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, if there was any other mantra that one has to practice, means instead of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if there was something else which has to be given, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has already given that. But if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has specifically given this mantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then why to put our logical or whatever illogical mind? One should understand this thing, that Krishna consciousness is for those people who are humble and faithful, who are sincere, who will follow things as it is. If you have any doubts, you can definitely ask your doubts, but we should not, put our minds in changing things. We should not doubt on the process. Even if we are not humble right now, then okay, we should accept that we are not humble. But that desire should always be there in our hearts that we want to become humble. And Krishna will definitely help. So, yes, we were discussing this thing, that spiritual master is the one who bestows and distributes the mercy of Krishna by telling about Krishna. That your eternal state is your fragmental part of Krishna. So you serve Krishna. Only this way you can be satisfied. You can be happy. Alright, now we will continue our discussion in next class if Krishna is willing. We will stop here now. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.